Things are super serial right now. In a tournament, the After Hours Gaming League by Day 9 TV and Red Bull Gaming, in which no official prize money is on the line other than charity dollars. Everyone at Apple is losing their mind right now. The only man that can hopefully bring them to the conclusion of this match with a victory begins with this man in the top. Oversign. Whoa. As the red Zerg from Apple II in the north position of Polar Knight in the southern position. From Boeing, it's Conky. Conky would love to win this game, but keep in mind it's Zerg versus Zerg, which basically means that no Zergling wins. A Zerg can indeed win, but many Lings and Banelings will die along the way. Every now and again, two Zerg players get together and formally agree, with an underhanded, only verbal agreement of course. You know what, let's just be kind and tender to those Lings and Banelings. And rather than build those, let's just only build roaches. And arm wrestle this out like men. But other times, those agreements turn up with one of them having a switchblade. Yeah! I got Ling Baneling, baby. You got cut. Looks like both Conky and Over Canyon. Over Cyan. Over Sen. However it should be spelled and pronounced. Both going to be going gas and pool. Gas and pool. It's a sign of Zergling speed to come and Banelings to further come. Like Conky's going to go ahead and he's going to scout. He's going to say, hey, and nothing's there, and he's going to go, looks like park himself up on the high ground safely. Polar Knight's kind of a tricky map in Zerg vs. Zerg because everything is indeed so scoutable. There's really no hidden paths or bases, at least in the early game, where the purposes of non-speed Lings are concerned. Over Canyon. Getting speed. Down the other side, Conky. Getting speed. Any in gas? No. Conky. Not getting any more gas. It's just speedlings versus speedlings. Oh my god. Oh my god. Nobody's gonna get a Baneling nest. It's gonna be speedlings versus speedlings. It's gonna be concaves versus concaves. Or as I like to call it, 1A versus 1A. As Conky trundles forwards. Oh man. Over Cyan expands. So does Conky. Everyone's doing the same damn thing. Only in a video game is this possible. You would never tune in to some excellent action flick and say, oh my god, the main character's doing like literally the exact same thing as the villain right now. I wonder when they're gonna deviate. Wow, they're still doing the exact same thing. When they both throw a punch, they run into the other guy's punch because it's thrown at the same time. It's never really common. But wait, what's this? What's this? There's some gas in the air. It's not because I went to fondue for dinner last night. It's because maybe Banelings are coming up. A transition is occurring. Conky's thinking of doing something new. He's setting aside a little bit of gas at the start of every month, just to make sure he has something nice for himself once it hits summertime. Over Cyan has to run away. Conky, with his base up, with his spine crawler, is beginning to advance to the front lines. It's a Bling nest. It's a Baneling nest. There it is. There it is. There it is. Means suddenly the onus is going to be on Over Cyan to try to defend himself as best he can without any poppin' Banelings to account for. It's like, oh, accidentally going to lose two Lings. Reasonable arc, but it's hard to tell who has more numbers because, wow, Conky Zerglings have those huge wings. They make the armies look deceptively large. He's trying to take down this expansion. He'd love to just target fire and never stop target firing, but that'd be a recipe for disaster. We got that spine crawler for Conky still chilling up in the main. No Banelings yet. Looks like it's been basically 1 in gas this whole time. Oh my god, 3 in gas now. But Over Cyan has absolutely no Banelings to his name. Oh my god, wait, where's the spine crawler? It's in the wrong place at the wrong time. Oh my god, Over Cyan. Oh my god. Just banana grins abound. This is... I mean, that's that. He did it. He won the game. I mean, let's be honest. This is just a devastating misplay from Conky that he just didn't move that down. And suddenly Oversign's going to move up and be like, wait a minute. What's the spine crawler doing up here? Shouldn't that have been the expansion? And Conky's like, I know. Shut up. I back off. Big banelings. Big banelings. Big banelings, big banelings, big banelings, big banelings. Oh, I love big banelings. More banelings coming up. Despite that gain, Oversign has yet to do much with the advantage. The money's there, and there's an evolution chamber. There's the layer. Oversign is immediately teching himself up. Now, in Conky's position, you want to get a lot of drones, but oftentimes you feel obligated to do something with these banelings, to form an attack, to try to get back into the game. Big blue banelings for Conky, in large numbers. Just trying to control the watchtowers. Conky gets shut down there as well. Continuing to trickle in some lings, trickle in some drones. It's 25 to 24, amazingly. The drone count is ahead for Conky briefly. But Oversign's going to continue to drone. Hasn't really begun to make use of his expansion yet, but even with that, now taking it a 5 to 25 lead. Over 20% lead. No, under 20% lead. The important thing is that maths. Layer's just now starting for Conky. Oversign has a number of options. The most common one in this spot, given the fact that he doesn't have these gas guys, is to go for the 1-1 upgrades and get roaches. Don't have the gas to go crazy Muta, so I'm going to go Muta, says Oversign. He's going to get that down. Just now starting these extractors, does have somewhat of a bank stockpiled on the gas front, but neither of these spines are going to be used. He did see banelings, so he's like, man, good building placement, and I'm fine. Conky's starting to add units to his own geysers, continuing to add more drones to his own expansions, and suddenly, drone count looking huge for Oversign. Just gigantic. Conky. Oh, Conky's trying to run some lings in. He doesn't find an opportunity, but there's one right in front of his eyes. A queen, an isolated queen. A very wounded queen, an isolated queen. A healed queen. A protected queen. A not isolated queen. A queen with friends and many people in the world who care for her and love her. Spire for Conky. He's behind. Spore crawler for Conky. Oh, he's so behind. I mean, this is going to be just a smackdown lockdown for Conky. King Conky. Fran lags again. Damn it, Fran. Oh my god, Fran. Fran. What's with your lag, man? Conky. Getting himself Zerglings. Maintaining vision control. Conky, despite being in quite a deficit, is holding as much of the map as he can comfortably, but where are the mutas? 8 mutas in production. A roach transition already planned for Oversign. Hasn't begun to use these evolution chambers yet, but I feel like that's right around the corner. Oversign getting the headshot. Trying to step forward, trying to clear the vision, trying to get more bases. This is one of the weird junctures in Zerg vs. Zerg where a Zerg player in Oversign's position doesn't actually want to get that many drones. He wants to get lings. He wants to apply pressure. He wants to aggress. He wants to attack. He wants to smickety smack down his enemy. And it's in that time where he is building all those units that it's very easy for Conky to lose anyways. We're seeing the air upgrades. We're seeing the link counterattacks. Oh, and what a smart target for Oversign. Trying to pick off the extractor. The problem is that these are like nuclear bomb launchers for air. Spore crawlers are just, they're insane. Picking off Mutalisk would be good. Picking off Queens would be even better. Oversign has to pull back, but that's okay. He's getting up his own expansion. We're looking at that mineral gas ratio. It's a little bit wonky. Macro hatch could be coming up soon. And with the macro hatch, he can pump out the roach, which is probably going to be his best bet at this point in time. If you're relatively even with your opponent in terms of economy, but you have a lot more larvae, all the roaches. Very easy way to exploit that lead. Looks like the Mutalisks from Oversign are continuing to move out around the map. We talked about a little bit of map control. Oversign has it all again, and what do you know? If at first you don't succeed, expand, expand again. Oversign's going to be going absolutely insane with this. Conky's so well turtled up, but Conky's got to make something big happen. He can overbuild a lot of spore crawlers and try to win with counterattacks, but looks like Oversign kind of has an air lockdown. Ooh, Oversign even getting 1-1 upgrades. Oversign looking mighty sharp, looking mighty fine. This is a pretty easy closeout as long as he continues to make roaches and doesn't overbuild drones. The drone count right now, 49 to 52. Still wants to halt around 66 to 70, even though he's at 4 bases. And just roach up. He can also just flood Mutalisks and maintain that lead, but oh, look at this. This is the real problem with, never mind. There goes down the base. Mutalisks for Conky are going to try to deny. He's going to try to counterattack. Very difficult for Oversign to try to do a counterattack because look, there's 3 spore crawlers in each location, so this winds up being a very safe move for Conky so long as he can still find the chance to retreat safely, and I don't know if that's going to happen. Oversign is ripping this to shreds. God, there's hardly an advantage that Oversign doesn't have in this game. He even has a better fitting shirt. 4th base for Conky is not even really gonna get a chance to get off the ground. Mutalisks split apart into little bits of gack and goo and sort of crumbly bits. I mean, Oversign, I mean, look at this. More Mutalisks, better upgrades, more roaches, more completed bases, higher gas income. I mean, it's all going Oversign's way. There's not really a lot of ways for Conky to come back other than to play this really slow and try to wait until he and his opponent are both maxed. But upon losing those lings, I mean, what's an Oversign to do but just go win? Am I right? Or am I right? Or am I right? As Oversign heads to this 4th base, question is, what's the Mutalisk count like for Conky? Oh my gosh, still lower. Oversign's retreating from a smaller army. Get in there, Oversign! He's playing very cautiously. Well, it's kind of hard to do a lot of mistakes if you're red right now. I mean, Team Apple is almost certainly going to get this to go to a game number 5. So what's the play for Oversign? Does he want to try to push it and end it right now? Does he want his teammates to watch Conky suffer? Does he want Conky's teammates to watch Conky suffer? All these acceptable decisions in a best of X series, as the psychology, and especially team psychology, is quite different. As the hatchery is getting attacked, Oversign is attempting a little counter, but there's not really that many targets here. But I mean, wow, Conky's gotta make something big happen very soon. Oh my god, that's the opposite of big. That's negatively big. Conky's just lost all the burnings! Now there's more lings, more roaches, more mutas, better upgrades, more everything. It's an attempted surround for Conky. More Mutalisks still here for Oversign. Slightly worse upgrades. But soon enough, I'm imagining that Oversign will just go, you know, box and go. He's just going to hurl his units in there. Amazingly, Conky has pulled a drone lead. He's got to get something like Roach Hydra out. Now that's where all his upgrades are. Oh. Anti-Citizen chat says, hey, this is already longer than the IEM World Championship Finals. Ooh, brutal and totally accurate. Uh-oh. Found the drones. Got your drones. It looks like the Mutalisks are finally going to engage. I think Conky has decided that he can definitely win this. But Oversign, I think, just has way too many Mutalisks. He's going to have to turn around and retreat. How many will he lose on the retreat? Not that many. Only 1 or 2. As long as they didn't stay idle, there goes down 1, 2, a 3rd one, 4th one, almost certainly going to go down. Despite these short distances, I mean, Oversign has yet to engage. He's waiting for 2-2. He's playing this out so cautiously. Does he have range yet? Nope, no range, no speed. Getting ready to go. I think, maybe, possibly. There's possibility in sight. And it's an attack. It could happen. It might never happen, but it could. Counterattack from Conky. Nice little ploy. Oversign's just waiting calmly. Waiting patiently. Man, Conky. Continuing to actually find opportunities for himself, but I mean. Time to let go, Oversign. It's time to let go. Send the army that you deserve to send across that map. It's 2-2 Roach Hydra. A trio of Banelings do very little. Very little. Much like a high school band, they joined together and then never saw each other ever again. Conky's mutas are falling in large numbers. Conky will soon tumble down to a 2-base Zerg with a main running dangerously low and attempted transition to Ultralist, but the GG comes too soon. That means that for the first time ever this year, the AHGL will go all the way to game number 5 to match point. Stay tuned. The After Hours Gaming League awesomeness continues after this brief break.